Hey y'all, it's Deanna Jean, your collab queen. And experts come to me when they are ready to enhance their visibility, their impact, and their revenue. But the experts that I work with, they want to do that by collaborating with other experts, and we do that in our Success Tribe. Sound like your jam? You want to go ahead and join us in our Success Tribe group? Just go to thesuccesstribe.com, and we can't wait to see you there. Hey y'all, hey, good morning. Happy Friday. Let us know that you can see us and you can hear us. What's going on, y'all? I am here today with one of my favorite experts, my girl, Ileka Follett. What's going on, Ileka?
Hey, it's Friday, so you know it's Self-Care Friday. You know
Okay,
me.
every day. Okay, every day with Ileka. Every time I text or I call Ileka, Ileka's like, "Yeah, I'm at the gym. Yeah, I'm at the spot. Yeah, I'm doing the thing." And I appreciate that about her. Y'all go ahead and let us know that y'all can hear us and see us there inside of the chat and say hey to us. I am actually really excited to have this conversation because I think that this is a conversation that we've been hearing more and more people alluding to, talking about. I didn't realize until like after we had set all this stuff up too. This month is actually Mental Health Awareness Month.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Didn't know that. So we set this up without even really realizing that. And the interesting part of that too is that Chanel and I, shout out to Chanel Evans,
Hey, Chanel.
actually did a live yesterday where we were talking about mental health and client attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm here with Ileka because, in our collab chats, we talk a lot about collaboration in business. And we talk a lot about how, for me, collaboration always starts with connection.
Mm-hmm.
And the connection really has to go beyond just business. The connection really has to, the best collaborations that I've had have
Mm-hmm.
always been the ones where
Oh yeah.
I know, and everything there is to know, about your family.
Mm-hmm.
I know your kids. We're asking about the kids. We're asking about the spouses. All of that, and that's the type of relationship that Ileka and I have. So,
Right.
Ileka, please introduce yourself to the folks, and let's get into this conversation. This really important conversation.
Right. Yeah. So quickly, and I'm just going to introduce myself as me, not even around my business so
That's
much,
what
right?
I said. That's what we're doing. We're
Right.
we
Because
taking a whole this going a whole different direction. Y'all, we had no script or nothing.
that's
So
right.
whatever's
So
gonna happen.
I'm Ileka, and most of y'all might know me as, I'm on social media, I'm on YouTube, and I'm always talking and excited and life, right? Just hey, and I'm sparkle. That's what people. That's what I've heard. Like, oh yeah, do your Ileka thing, right? That's the normal me, right? That's me, and I love it. And I'm a mom of four. I've got four babies. Yesterday, I became a mom of 16 years. And I mean, just absolute gold. It's oh my joy. I'm so excited. That's what I absolutely love. And so 7, 8 years ago, I started my business. Initially, I started as a weight loss coach after spending 20 years in corporate America doing business strategy. And over time, I kind of moved into like business strategy and then more into how do you become the guru, the expert in your industry and stand out in the crowd. And so I help entrepreneurs stand out in the crowd.
Yeah.
Um, so that you get to do the thing that you love to do and you get to continue doing it. So
Yeah.
that's my bang. That's my jam.
Yes,
You know?
it is. I love that you introduced yourself in that way, Ileka, because and you introducing yourself in that way, that resonates and that feels when I think about Ileka, those are the things that I think about. I think about the fact that you're a mom of four because I know that your kids and your family are literally like the core of everything that you are and literally why you do everything that you do.
Mhm,
I know that you have an amazing husband in John who
mhm.
you just adore so much. John and Ileka are college sweethearts and a very, very, very real example of opposites attracting.
Yes,
Right?
100%.
And then of course I know you as, the PMP certified, process driven engineer, right?
Mhm.
I know you as the proud Aggie alum.
Yes.
And I also know you as, the woman who lost 120 pounds and
Right.
kept it off for a long, long time, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and over the last few months, I've known you as the Ileka that has suffered a lot of loss
Yes. Mhm.
and a lot of challenges. And I think it's important that we identify that all of those things are you and
Mhm.
that we're all going through something. We're all going through something and we're all experiencing something. So, Ileka, I've been hearing more and more women who look like us, who have our
Mhm.
resumes, that are struggling,
Yeah.
that are struggling with mental health.
Mhm.
What are you seeing in the marketplace when it comes to Black and brown women, entrepreneurs who are doing all the things?
Yeah. It's funny what I'm seeing right now, and I remember about 2 years ago, someone mentioned to me, they said, you know, they said, "We're in this stage where we are everything. We're doing everything. We still have kids at home, and we have parents that we have to take care of, and we're in that kinda double stage or sandwich stage."
Yeah.
And, if we're not taking care of our mental health and our wellness during that time, it can truly impact everything, like taking time for self. And what's funny is I don't think I fully captured it in that moment
Mm.
because, my parents are still extremely, self-sufficient. They're doing their
Right,
thing, right?
right, yeah.
And I had these kids, but then in this past probably 6 months with the losses that I've suffered with, my aunt who was always my person growing up, my other aunt, my uncle, my cousin, like losing so many people so quickly is when it felt like, whoa, this can this can impact everything.
Yeah.
Like not just the business, but also the health. That's where my health became an issue because I literally I hadn't gained I hadn't really gained weight over the last 7 years. When I lost 120 pounds, it stayed off. Maybe like 10 pounds here and there, but 10 pounds here and there is like,
Yeah,
I had
and
Olive Garden yesterday and today I'm 10 pounds heavier.
right,
Like
right,
it's not a
exactly,
big deal.
exactly.
Right? But this was like 50 pounds
50
in
pounds.
6 months. And actually in about 2 months it was 40 pounds.
Wow.
2 months, 40 pounds. So from the end of October, October 30th through January 6th, it was about 40 pounds. Just kinda wild.
Wow.
And so the thing is, I thought I could get a handle on it, and I worked to get a handle on it. And I
Right.
started losing the weight again, but then boom, another bang. Another
Like,
thing hit.
keep getting hit.
Exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
starts to happen to us. We're getting hit on it seems like on all angles sometimes.
Yeah.
And even when you're doing the self-care practices, like you mentioned, I'm always self-caring, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're doing the practices, there's still things still could seep in because sometimes we're just not ready for all of it at once.
I mean, who can be though, right? Like
Right.
who can be ready to experience loss, which typically for many instances is going to be unexpected in that way while still having to maintain all the things. So,
Mhm.
as you experience all that loss,
Right.
you're still a mom of four. You
Mhm.
still have kids who depend on you, who need you. You're still a wife.
Right.
And guess what? You're still showing up in this business, right?
Exactly.
So,
Mhm.
as a business owner, especially in the stage that we're in with business ownership, it's not like you could just take your foot off the pedal and let things coast. When
Right.
all of these tremendous challenges happen in your life, you got to be
Mm.
able to really maintain. And this resonates so strongly. And I appreciate your transparency so much, Ileka, because, for me, it wasn't necessarily loss, right? Like losing people in my life. But for me, it was a lot of the stress of so many life transitions
Yes.
literally over a 6-month period of time. When I say every transition that you could possibly think of, right? Whether it was transitions at home, whether it was things that were going on with people that I am giving care to, be that parent or children.
Yes.
And in being in that generation that we're in that sandwich generation, and guess what? On top of all of that, there are physical things that are happening to our body
Oh, yes.
that we have no control over, right? Like we're in that age where it's like, all right, like this is gonna happen whether you on board or not,
Right. Exactly.
right?
Yes.
So then now that creates emotional and mental things. So we talk a lot about collaboration, but what I really wanted to make sure that people understood is that collaboration doesn't just stop with your business. Real and true collaboration really encompasses all aspects of your life, right?
Yeah.
I consider Ileka to be a key collaborator in business, obviously, because we can do business together. We can refer clients over to each other. You know, we can do events and things like that together. But I also consider Ileka a collab partner because there were times over the last 6 months where we really had to help to hold each other up.
Yeah.
And what you saw on the business side was, oh, you know, they're doing this event together, you know, they're doing these other things together. But what I appreciate about the ability to collaborate with folks like Ileka and other folks within our community is that on those days where I could not show up, when I was just like, nah, this ain't it.
Right.
I knew that Ileka and others had my back, that they were showing up for me, and vice versa, right?
Right. Exactly.
Somebody who's going to still refer that client over to you. Somebody who's gonna offer to send out an email campaign because you're like, I ain't writing no emails. I'm barely getting out the bed, right?
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
somebody who's gonna offer that support and be transparent and be like, you know, me too.
Yes.
You were mentioning, Ileka, that when you expressed, first of all, I just want to commend you on the tremendous courage around your transparency. Because when you are known for losing 120
Yeah.
pounds, keeping it off,
Right.
to now show back up and be like, y'all, I gained 50 pounds in 2-3 months. That is transparent and that is brave.
You know what's so funny too with it is, and thank you for that, because what's so funny is when it happens and when you look and you're like, what the heck is going on? There is so much embarrassment that initially comes because it's like, whoa, I can't believe that I'm here.
Right.
You know, especially when it's like you're someone who has, you know, lost a bunch of weight. You've shown before and after pictures. You've helped thousands of other people lose weight and feel good and keep the weight off and all these things. And then it happens and it's just like, whoa, like, should I even say anything? Maybe I should just lose the weight and then say something. You know, maybe I should, like, all of these things come in the brain. And it's just like, you know what? Other people are probably going through something similar. And rather than me stepping in a silo and saying, hey, I know how to lose weight, I'll just go and do it again. You know, why not bring others with me and say, you know what, let's do this together because we get to collaborate, you
We
know?
can collaborate on it, and we need each other.
Exactly.
We need to not feel alone. This
Yeah.
resonates for me too, because as you know, I am your collab queen, right? That's what I do. I collaborate. And over the last 8 weeks, I had 2 really core collaborations that did not go well. Did not go well at all. And the part of it for me that was most frustrating and embarrassing was that this wasn't just a collaboration that I was involved in. It was something that I actually pulled other people into.
Oh.
And there were 2 of them, right? That like almost like boom, boom. And there was embarrassment. There was, you know, the desire to kind of hide or the desire to not address it. But then I said to myself, all right, people who are connected to me, yeah, they know me as the collab queen, but what's behind that? Why do they collaborate with me? They collaborate with me because they can trust me. Why can they trust me? Because they know that I'm going to be real with them and I'm going to be honest. So the best thing that I can do is to super serve the people that were affected by the misstep, by, the falter, and honestly to acknowledge, right? And be like, hey,
Yeah.
y'all, this didn't go the way that we wanted it to go. And we're going to make it right in the way that we can. And that was cathartic because in talking to my therapist, we were talking about, how so often as Black women in our generation, right? So Ileka's still technically like Gen X, aren't you, Ileka? Like technically?
They don't know what my gen is.
I'm the Zennial. They call us
Yeah,
the
that's me too. Yep,
right,
the
right, right. Because I'm
Zennial.
81 and you're what, 78?
79. Yep.
79. So we're
79.
Zennials. I think we're Zennials because I'm not
Mm,
X and I'm not.
right.
I'm,
I'm not millennial.
I'm
That's
not
stupid.
right. See, I'm like, I ain't no millennial. Get out of here. Even though, whatever. And it's that generation, right?
Mhm,
Where we are so used to doing
mhm.
and taking on. And there were so many sacrifices that the generation before us made, but we are the realized dream of that generation. So in many instances, even if we weren't necessarily the first one to get degrees, we might have been the first one to get advanced degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
In many instances,
Exactly.
our parents in a lot of instances might have had blue collar jobs. We are
Mhm. Yeah.
in many situations first entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
first to make six
Mhm.
figures, first to make
Yeah.
six figures, right?
Usually.
Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
and there's so much that comes with that. And we also have to acknowledge that it's heavy.
Yeah.
And that we really and truly need to leverage the
Mhm.
relationships that we have to bind together, to collaborate, and to show up for each other. So, with all of that being said, Ileka has an amazing opportunity for us to show up for each other.
Mhm.
Ileka, so you gained back some of the weight.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
understanding is that you've already started to lose some of the weight that you gained back already,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
How
exactly.
did you, so what was the shift for you? Because that could be a spiral,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Of like
Mhm.
going back to the same habits, like, oh my God, I lost all this weight and now you're
Yeah.
starting to gain it again. How did you
Right.
stop the spiral?
Yeah. It for me, stopping that spiral really came down to I had to process the grief.
Mm,
Like, see how we're having this conversation? A month ago, even, I could not have had this conversation. I could barely even mention my aunt's name without, like, you know? So I had to process that grief. I had to move through it, like, decide two things. Number one, kind of really like, okay, this has happened,
right.
and we're at a point where I can't really do anything about it. Like, there's no way to bring her back. Like, this is what life looks like now.
Moving
So
forward.
do I stand in the sadness and the grief forever, or do I move forward? And so I had to kinda it was literally a space where I had to, like, lean into it almost, lean fully into it and fully let it go, like, go to the last funeral, and say, "Okay, you know, these 4 people, we've lost them, and now what do we do?"
Right.
And so once I did that, I was like, "Okay, the grief is I've processed that." It doesn't mean it's never gonna come back. I'm never gonna see a picture and be sad, but it's like, I'm not gonna be in that down space for so long because I can't,
Right.
because
And that's counterintuitive to who you are. Like
yeah.
you're not that person.
Mhm.
Stay down.
Yes, exactly. So it's like it doesn't feel right, and so I wasn't feeling like myself. And so once I processed the grief, I started taking a bunch of tests. And I looked at like what is happening because I realized that even through, everything that was happening, I was still exercising. I was still, I
Right.
was
You
still
hadn't
doing
stopped.
my
That's
self-care
that's
stuff.
important to notice too,
Right.
right? Like it wasn't like you went off the rails.
Right. I was still working out. I was still eating right. I was still getting outside. There were times where, I hit up Cold Stone or something with the kids or, whatever it was. But I wasn't like binge eating or, just doing all these extra
You
things.
weren't
And so I
sitting at
was
the buffet for hours at a time, just like going for it. Right.
exactly. That's just not in me. So I was like, what is happening? So I went and got a bunch of tests and found that um, my cortisol levels were through the roof,
Stress.
which stress, right? When your stress is high, so is your cortisol. When your cortisol is high, it impacts your weight because it impacts your hormones. So basically, you could be working out 24 hours a day and still like not really losing much weight because of your stressors. And those stressors start affecting so many things. So I had to manage that and deal with that and have honestly take some supplements as well as like
Mm.
use some actual tools to like process stress, right?
Right.
So that I could kinda, reduce those cortisol levels, like, really, really take some time
Yeah.
and even shift the way that I was exercising,
Yeah.
because exercise can cause some cortisol spikes and things like that. So I
Yeah.
was looking at all of that, and once I started doing it, I started seeing,
The
uh,
results.
some weight drop again.
Wow.
I was like, "Okay, it's coming off," and I was like, I'm I don't wanna do this alone. I was like, because I was telling folks about it, and so many people were saying, "I'm struggling with that too. Oh my gosh, I've hit major plateaus and stress has impacted me." "Oh, I've gained weight back." Like, all
Mhm.
these people were saying, and I was like, "Let's do this together." I
Yeah.
was like, "I'm gonna host one of my old school weight loss challenges."
Going
I
back to
hadn't
the
done
basics.
these. Yeah, these were I used to do these in 2018, 2019, and 2020, and I hadn't really done one in a long time. So I think the last time I hosted a challenge was, like, 2022, and I
Wow.
was like, "I'm gonna do a weight loss challenge, and it's gonna be the old school kind where folks get to win money, right? So, because people like to win money, they like to be competitive, we like to
Yeah.
have fun. So, the way I look at these challenges is we get to have a good time. I'm going to provide meal plans, workouts, but what we're really going to work on is looking at like, are you doing the things that you're committing to, right? Because when
Mhm.
we do the things that we're committing to, that actually helps with like stress. You
It's
know,
mental too.
it is, right? It
Mindset.
helps.
Yeah.
And then it's like, where are we incorporating some real self-care practices? We're gonna have a meditation expert in our
Oh,
challenge
that's great.
to
Yeah.
meditate, with us, like, regularly,
Wow.
to really bring some of that to life. So
Yeah.
we're doing that. So we're you're gonna have all the things that are aligned with, like, the practices to actually lose the weight, and you get to win money. So
Wow.
there's a really like no-brainer entry fee, right? And a portion of the entry fee, $15 of each entry fee goes toward a cash prize, a cash pot. So basically let's say 10 people join, which we already have 10 people so far, I
Nice.
think. So, which is amazing because we decided to host this on Monday. Thank God for Crystal.
Is she
Thank
texting me
God.
right now like,
I'm gonna do a whole live on Crystal and how
Crystal is
Ileka decided to do
beyondthebomb.com.
something, and
She
Crystal
is
was like, "You gotta come with it."
beyondthebomb.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so $15 of each entry goes to the cash prize, and what happens is 10 people join, the cash prize is $150, which
Mm,
means the first place winner gets $100, second place gets $30, third
yep.
place gets 20. Now, if 100 people join, because the more people join, the bigger the cash prize.
Of
And
course.
so when I used to do these, they would get the cash pot would get up to like $1,000,
I
you
love that.
know? And so it was so much fun because people were like, I paid $55 and I done won $600 or
And I
700
lost and I
and
lost
lost weight, right? Exactly. And lost weight and feeling better and having more energy and learned how to reduce the stress.
yeah.
Like these things were major.
I think that that's important. So I want to highlight a few things, and then I want to make sure that people know you go to reclaimyourretreats.com to sign up. I'm already signed up.
Mhm.
I want to do this with you if you're watching this. I think that we need to do this together.
Yeah.
But there are a few things that you mentioned. So the first thing that you identified is that you actually leveraged the people around you to figure out what was really going on. You
Mhm.
didn't try to figure it out on your own. You didn't stay in a silo. You went, you spoke to doctors, specialists, whoever the people were in your life to help you identify what the real challenge was,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Then after, so that's a form of collaboration in and of itself,
exactly. Mhm.
right? Then after that, you committed to the mindset work as well, to making sure that whatever you were going to do, you were going to be able to sustain. So I
Mhm.
think that's important. But then because we know life gets in the way,
Mm.
and we already said we wear all the hats, right?
Mhm.
We ask for the hats, but we still, that doesn't mean that they're not heavy, right?
Right, exactly.
Doesn't mean that they're not heavy. You decided to build some accountability and support into what you're doing by
Mm.
inviting others in and curating a program, an event that
Mm.
actually holds you accountable, but that helps and supports others.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's it, right?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
is it, y'all. This challenge starts on Monday.
Yes. Monday, May
I love
20th.
that you're gonna have like, meal plans and stuff.
Mm.
You're gonna have exercises, but you're also gonna be talking about the stress piece.
Yes.
And if you haven't done it yet, I'm gonna put my bid in. What I would also love is to like understand from you, even if you did a video on it, of
Mm.
what that process looked like for you to get the cortisol, like to get that cortisol diagnosis, so for you to identify
Mm.
it. Because a lot
Mhm.
of times it'll be like, oh, okay, cool, you went and you figured it out. But
Mm.
sometimes the barrier is just like not knowing even what to ask for, who to
Right.
go to. Do I have to go to my
Yeah.
doctor? All right, cool. I got to go to my doctor. I try to set an appointment. They don't see me for another 3 months. All right, I got to
Mhm.
sit. Like talking through ways that people can identify
Yeah.
that actually helps them to create urgency and
Mhm.
actually get started right away. So I would personally love something like that.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah, we'll do that in the challenge because it makes so much sense. Like, how do you get these tests?
How do you get
Yeah.
these tests? What
Yeah.
tests should you be asking for? What should you be
Mhm.
looking for?
'Cause
And
there's
again, I know that
different
you're not a
ones.
doctor, but even if we had like a nutritionist or somebody that came in and said,
Mhm.
and I know you're licensed in all the
Yeah.
things, but to be able to say like
Yeah.
these are the things that you look for, I think that that could be really, really helpful. Even
Mhm.
understanding the difference between like an MD and a DO
Right.
and all of those things. So I'm putting my bid in. That's something
Mm.
that I would love to see inside of the
Look,
challenge.
now I'm thinking about my clients that could come in as nutritionists and
But
stuff.
this is
Yep.
how we do, right? This is how we
Yes,
do.
exactly.
Y'all, we're gonna pop out of here because Crystal's already texted me. I'm supposed to be on a call with her. But this was such an important conversation that I wanted to make sure that we had it.
Mhm.
Y'all, if you watch this live, or if you watch it in the replay, please, please, please. If you do nothing else, we'd love to see you in this challenge, obviously,
Mhm.
right? Like, we'd love
Yeah.
to see you. Ileka's doing this herself. Like, this is not going to be something where you're in a space with
Right.
600 people and it's a webinar.
No.
Ileka's going to be live. She's going to be
Right.
giving us the prompts. You're going to be able to connect, right?
Mhm.
We'd love to see you in
Answering questions, having
answering
conversations.
questions, having
Exactly.
conversations. But if for some reason you decide that it's not the right time for you, you're not going to do this at the very least,
Mhm.
start taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Start taking care of your mental health. If you're doing it
Mhm.
already, continue on that path. And surround yourself with people who are going to support you in that path
Mhm.
and that journey to improving, enhancing, and optimizing your mental health. Ileka, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all
Yeah.
of the things.
Mhm.
Um, all of the things. And I'm excited about the challenge and I'm excited to that we get to do this together.
Me too. Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you, Deana.
Awesome. All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Hopefully, we'll see you in the challenge.
All right, see y'all soon. Take care.